Hello, Comic Con Scotland. Are you all right? Ah, you lovely people. I am Che. I'll be your host for this panel. We're going to get Tom Payne on in a second. If you've got any questions, we're going to there's going to be a microphone that's going to be put down there. Don't be afraid of the microphone. Talk directly into it. If you're tiny, you can pull it out of the mic stand and you can sort of like talk with it. But if you talk directly into it, it's very, very loud and everybody can hear you. I don't know if you know, right? This is going to be a really cool panel. You're all fans of the show? Right. There is a strike going on in America, right? So we're going to have to talk around stuff because there's still strikes going on. So we're going to figure this out. Are you up for that? Yeah, right. So we might not specifically mention certain stuff. It's like not saying the word zombie, right? So it's like that, right? So we're going to do that. But you all up for it? Cool. Right, cool. Please put your hands together. Give a big Comic Con Scotland welcome to Tom Payne!
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Very good.
Good to see you. So, it's you.
That's me, twice.
Yeah, a big one and a little one.
Yeah. Fancy event. I think that was a fancy event. And then some TV show that I was on at some point.
Yeah, we might talk around that in a bit. So,
just to preface that, it is a very weird time to be doing this kind of thing. And I can talk like around certain things, but it's basically about not mentioning the names of the companies that we're striking against or the work that we did for them. So you have to be a bit more creative.
There you go. So start thinking now. Well, we'll start at the beginning. So how did you get into acting? Were you always going to be an actor?
Yeah, basically, I like showing off. I don't believe anyone who's like, well, when I was 4 years old, I knew I wanted to be an actor. I was like, no, you didn't. You have no idea about what that actually means. Like, you just like showing off and like people clapping for you, which is basically what I did. And so when I was in school, I found out that people clapped at you when you did plays. And I was also sang quite a lot at that time. But I then really, really enjoyed it. So I got involved in theatre in the school that I was at and did all of the school plays. And then I was part of a theatre group outside of school as well. And then I saw, like, the path for me to be an actor would be to then study it after school. So my whole time in school, I was like, I can't wait till I can dump all these subjects that I don't need and be an actor. It was a big thing for my parents, actually, because, you know, they wanted me to... So they didn't let me go to stage school, actually, which now I'm really happy about. But at the time, I was like, that's all I want to do, blah, blah, blah. But I'm quite happy that I had a regular schooling and then went and studied afterwards. So I went and studied, and half the reason to study is that at the end of it, you get to do like a public showcase, and like agents and casting directors come along. And so I got an agent from that, and then things rolled on, and I did Waterloo Road, which is now back. I was talking to Adam Thomas about it the other day. Like, I'd like to just be having a coffee in the back of a scene or something. I'm going to try and figure that out at some point.
A little cameo.
Yeah, a little fun cameo that, well, especially now, like, if I manage to have the long hair and the beard as well, it'd be kind of a fun thing to do, so we'll see. But I'm happy that show's come back. It's so funny, whenever I come back, because I live in California, when I come back to England, people are always talking to me about Waterloo Road, and it's just really amusing, because I never hear about it unless I'm here, and it's great. And for a lot of people who saw me pop up in Walking Dead, it was just completely bizarre for a lot of people. Like, wait a second, that's Brett from Waterloo Road who's in America, you know, doing this kind of stuff. Wow, I've already slipped up there.
I was going to say that. I was like, we did a big preamble about this.
Shit, okay.
It was just sort of like, oh my God, he said the words.
Yeah. Yeah, because I talk a lot, and so I can run away with myself sometimes.
We'll just bleep it like it's a swear.
Yeah.
It's,
all right, okay. It's all right, no one's videotaping this, right?
Yeah, no, phone's away.
Okay. Anyway.
Does Waterloo Road get any traction over in America? Do people know?
No, Waterloo Road, no, nothing at all. It's funny, though. So when I first went over there, I was used to being very British and self-effacing. And, like, so you go over there and you're like, well, I was on this show, you know, Waterloo Road, and, you know, it was all right, blah, 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 blah. And the Americans take you on face value, and they're like, oh, it was all right. Okay, so it wasn't anything good. And so I had to kind of change how I talked about it, because Americans are all about like, I did this thing and it was great and lots of people watched it, which is true, you know, it's a very popular show. But like, I don't know, the British in me was always very like kind of down, because that's just how we are.
We're humble.
Yeah, and that's what I enjoy about America actually, is that you are allowed to say, actually I did this thing and it was great. And so I had to flip it around in America and be like, well, actually I was the lead on one of the leads on this TV show, which was really popular in England. And yeah, they don't like it if you're self-effacing, because they believe you, basically. There is no kind of like, oh yeah, it was that and it was a bit shit. They're like, oh, it was shit. Okay, fine. And I'm like, oh, you can't say that. You know, they just think it's true.
Have you ever made anything up? Did you just say, yes, I was in this film?
No, and I actually, I've told multiple people this. Like, it's a very common thing that they're like, if someone asks you, can you do something? You say yes. You say yes. I've told everyone, like, if they ask you if you can ride a horse, do not lie. It's the worst thing you can lie about, because I've ridden horses in a bunch of stuff now, and I've always been very honest about it. And I know people who have been fired from jobs or who have gotten in trouble because people think it's like riding a bike, or like, you know, oh, I can learn to do that. But it's really not. Like, I don't know how many people ride horses, but it's like, and it's very easy. You have to be comfortable, and it's very easy to look uncomfortable because you are. Because it's dealing with horses, especially on a set when you're surrounded by people and there's lots of things that can go wrong. I always tell people, like, don't lie about that. Like, don't. It's not worth it. Like, even when you can ride, it's dangerous and, like, it's not a good thing. But so, no, I haven't. I mean, I lie a little bit about my height sometimes. Not too much, just like half an inch.
6'2"?
No, I could get away with that. I'll put some heels on and go to 5'8", when I'm really like 5'7.5". Oh no, that's on camera now. Damn it!
We're getting all the juicy stuff.
Oh no!
Is there anything that you've learned on set then? Is there anything that they've gone, can you learn how to do this, or?
Well, I did a job in America where I learned to ride a horse, which was really great and really useful. On another show that I did, I learned martial arts. Yeah, I did.
Well done.
On another show I did, I learned martial arts, and that was great. You know, anytime you get to do anything, learn something on a show, because you're not paying for it as well. So you're getting all this great stuff and this great knowledge without having to fork out for it. So it's amazing.
Did you have to get in shape as well? So you're doing all this martial arts?
Yeah, I mean, when you're working in like hot environments and like, especially when you're doing like martial arts or something, you have to be in shape, because you'll just fall apart otherwise. I mean, honestly, now, so when I started the job that I had to do martial arts in, I was in my early 30s, and now I'm 40, and I know it would be way harder now. I mean, I would have to do more warming up. I'm warming down.
Surely, muscle memory.
Well, now I'm getting that thing where, like, if you turn your head in a different way, you crick your neck, and you're like, well, hang on a second. Like, you feel like age just kind of creeps up on you and reminds you. You know, you're like, hang on a second, you can't do that anymore, or like, you can't. Yeah, I'm actually live in fear of like one day like just forgetting, and you know, you think you're young, and then you like go to run fast or something, and then you just can't walk. Like, I know that happens quite a lot to people, because you just forget, you know. And I have a young boy now, and I definitely, like, I still feel, you know, capable of running around after him and all that kind of stuff, but definitely would have been easier if I'd have had him younger. But then I wouldn't have, you know, been able to do a lot of other things that I've done. But yeah, having a young child later on in life is, I'm not even that old, but it's harder, definitely.
You don't feel old, but then when you talk to kids and stuff like
that,
they go, oh my God, 40?
Oh my God. Yeah, when I was a teenager, 40 is like, you're almost dead. That's like, that's really old. But when you're like young, when you're like 11 or 12 and you look up to the 18-year-olds, you're like, wow, the 18-year-olds, like, they're really old. And now you look at 18-year-olds and like, wow, they're really, you know, it's great, actually. I've actually really enjoyed getting older. It's just the physical stuff that's like kind of annoying.
What was it like that in Waterloo Road when you were sort of?
Oh my God, Waterloo Road. Waterloo Road was weird because I was 23 playing 18, and everyone else was kids. So everyone else was a teenager. And Chris Gere, who played a teacher, was only 2 years older than me. It was so weird. So I was living in a flat, in a block of flats with all the other people playing teachers, and all the other kids were playing, you know, they're living at home with their parents. So it was a bit, and I'd like been to drama school, and like I was like professional actor. So it was weird, but it was really fun, and I'm still friendly with all those people, and I'm so happy that it's come back. And Adam's now doing Waterloo Road and Strictly Come Dancing at the same time, and like it's such a weird. That's another thing of getting old. Like you see getting older, you see everyone else and what they're doing, and it's really fun.
Would you ever do anything like that? Strictly Come Dancing or one of those reality programs?
Funnily enough, just before I met my wife, she had just done the Swedish version. And she was a bit disillusioned with it because she thinks it's all a big fix. And I'm not sure, because she's actually a really good dancer, and she got kicked out earlier on, and she thought it was just a bit of a fix. And I do wonder how much they are, those shows, and how they keep on... I don't know how much Is it completely viewer vote?
I think it's sort of viewer vote, and then the judges decide a little bit as well.
Yeah.
If they change the scoring every...
I'm not sure I would, because I don't like being tested. I don't like doing exams, and it would feel too much like an exam. Because in my job, in acting, like, there isn't really a getting it right. Like, but on something like that, it's all about like precision and like really getting there. And I think I just get really annoyed. I would get very frustrated, I think, because I can get quite like, yeah, but not formal. Like, I think I would find it quite hard, and I would get very annoyed at myself, and it would be not good for my mental health.
So going back to sort of your early career, talk us through some of the people that you've worked with, because I've got down Ben Kingsley, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. So Dustin Hoffman was on my first American job. I only had a couple of scenes with him, but that was really, really cool. That was my first big thing. And it was like dropped in at the deep end. That was riding a horse as well, so that was pretty nuts. And who else? Ben Kingsley, yeah, Sir Ben. That was also great. And on that same project was Stellan Skarsgård. That was really, really cool. Yeah, if I think about it, like I've been very fortunate on different projects, and I worked with Michael Sheen on a show, and like he's just a phenomenal actor. And the real thing about that is that you only get better by working with good other people as well. And not a lot of people, but you find like some people are just kind of sleepwalking through it, and like they're used to doing what they do, and like they turn up and they do the work and they go home, and it is what it is. But some actors are just so brilliant in the moment and like there with you that it's fun. I always enjoy my job, but like when you work with someone like Michael Sheen, who just turns up and knows it back to front, and is very reactive. So he's not trying to do anything that, he's not, I'm going to do this, I don't care what you do. You're like in the scene together, and then you just find it, and it's so fun. When I found out I was working with him, I was like jumping around my living room, because I was like, oh my God, this is really going to stretch me, basically, and push me and make me better. Because it's the hardest thing about acting is not working, and that's most of the time. And so it's hard to keep that muscle exercised. And so I knew when I was going to work with him that I was going to work a lot, and a lot of it was going to be with him. And it was exhausting physically and emotionally, but so beneficial for me in lots of different ways. And yeah, I'm really thankful that I got to do that.
So you learned a lot from him. Are you starting to see yourself teaching other people as well? Are you starting to pass that on?
I think it's a funny thing, because there are fundamentals of acting which are the most, in my opinion, the most important. And they're really just about being relaxed and open to what's going to happen and not being self-conscious. And I think that's the hardest thing for most people to get by is, well, I might look stupid, or what do I look like on camera and whatever. And really, you have to not think about any of that. And also, although actually you have to know where the camera is and be able to show yourself to the, in a certain way. There are ways of playing the camera. So you have to be aware of it, but not allow it affect your performance. And so if I ever worked with anyone on a scene or anything, most of that work would be about what's this scene really about? How does the character feel? About what they're talking about and about the other person. And that's all you need to know. And don't get too caught up with, I'm playing a character and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Because the most important thing is that the emotional stuff happens in the scene and people care. Because otherwise you see the work as well, and you see like, this. But that's why Michael is so fantastic, because he he's so different in everything, but he's always really connected and really there, and you just believe him. Like, he's played so many real-life people, and he doesn't do any prosthetics or anything. On purpose, he doesn't want to. But it's weird. It's like his face changes.
I saw him in that Damn United, Brian Clough.
Brian Clough. He played Chris Tarrant. It's amazing. And Tony Blair, obviously. And you just buy it. Because he's so in it, and he's so talented. And he doesn't do any of the prosthetics and stuff. It's amazing.
But instead of talking about Michael Sheen, we're going to talk a little bit more about you.
Everyone loves Michael Sheen.
So can we get the microphone to the middle, if that's all right? Cheers, Dan. Give it up for Dan, everybody. He's a trainee. I'm only kidding. So if anybody's got any questions, if you want to come down to the microphone, again, remember, we're allowed to talk about certain shows, but we've got to talk around them.
We can be obtuse.
Yeah.
I thought I was good at that, but then
and then in the first
forgot
minute.
myself.
If you want to come forward, what's your name and what's your question?
My name's Stuart.
Hi, Stuart.
And my question is, what is your favourite question to be asked at the likes of Comic-Con? And obviously, what is your answer?
That's a good way to get around this. You know what? I do like talking about just acting in general and how I got here and blah blah. I think there's a lot of people can get very serious about it, and it's all about this and that, and fundamentally it's just about like I said, being free and having fun and playing and stuff. And I think I really think that art in general is really important, and I think that what we do is really important. Like, I've done television shows that have gotten people through the hardest times in their lives, and it's amazing. I mean, and I love coming to these conventions as well, because you get to give people a hug and make their day, and it's just so awesome. Like, I love it. So yeah, I guess. Because we do tend to get asked the same question all the time. And so which is funny, because you would think that a lot of people who come to these things know the answer before they ask the question, but I guess not. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite question that I've been asked. But it's nice to be surprised sometimes. So any question that surprises me, I guess. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next person up. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Emma.
Hi, Emma.
And what I would love to know is, since film and TV is a bit of a touchy subject at the minute, and you mentioned being involved in school plays and theatre groups, is there sort of a classic or a contemporary theatrical role that you would love to sink your teeth into, and an actor that you would particularly love to co-star with on stage?
I would like to get back to theatre at some point. The trouble is, it just doesn't pay anything, really. I mean, it really is the main thing. And I've got kids now, and if I was on a show that I made loads and loads of money from, then I would absolutely go and do a play. But so if that ever happens, because I do think theatre really stretches you again, and it's a nice dialogue with the audience, and I think it's really beneficial for people as actors. I'd love to have a crack at Hamlet at some point, just because. Yeah, you gotta because that's one of the biggest challenges that you can have, and I enjoy being challenged, and I think I work better under pressure, and so I'd love to do that. But honestly, I really like any new writing, and I love going to the Royal Court in London, and any place that is taking risks and trying new stuff out. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Donna.
Hi, Donna.
I just wanted to ask, what's the weirdest gift a fan has gifted you?
A tattoo of my face on their body. That's not a gift. Well, the gift is seeing it, I guess. I don't know, really. I love getting little... if I say this, everyone's going to give me this now. You have to be careful about this. But I do like when people make stuff. And when they make stuff that has, a little bit of a twist on it, so they'll make a doll of one of the characters that I played, but dress it up in a funny way, and you can tell that there's been some thought that's gone into it, and or when there's a funny riff on something. So I got given a bag yesterday, which was one of the shows I did, but everyone was a potato. I really like that. That's really fun. Which I wasn't expecting at all, but it was very enjoyable. So anything that's fun and quirky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anybody wants to bring the gifts down, we
Yeah.
can do it.
I'm going to get so many potatoes now. Because it's cheap as well. Hi.
Hello, I'm Rita.
Hi,
Hi,
Rita.
Rita.
So I'm going to ask about my
Oh,
favorite
into the
show
microphone a
of
bit
yours.
more.
My favorite show of
Yeah.
yours, but I'm not going to mention it.
Yeah.
But I'm just to ask what kind of preparation or how much preparation did you do reading up about serial killers?
Aha. So that was a really weird time in my life, playing someone who was interested in serial killers, because my Google search history was a bit scary. And I think that I did think about that a lot at the time, of lots of actors who play these kinds of roles, and I wasn't even playing someone who was, a killer or anything, but like, if you're playing someone who is a murderer, your Google search history must be like a bit worrying, and you're probably on some lists, But a lot of, how can I talk about that? A lot of, when you play a role, a lot of it is more about your emotional, like I was saying earlier on, like where you are emotionally. And in some jobs that I've done, for family relationships. So a job can be mostly about what your relationship is with that other character. And that's certainly what I've done in the past. And less about the intricacies of like, oh, how do you solve this crime, or how do you do this? Because that's just kind of the dressing on top. But underneath everything is, who is this character? Why does he feel how he feels? And what is his issue? And I think that sometimes is the most fun part of a show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rita.
Hi, my name's Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
I just wanted to ask, does your perspective on the roles you take change over time?
My perspective on the roles.
Yeah, like the perspective on the roles you take, does it change over time? And if so, how?
Oh, you mean my opinion of the roles?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I don't think so, because I think, and I think this happens a lot with actors, the roles come to you at the right time. So, jobs that I've done over the last 10 years, like, they came at the right time for me mentally and emotionally. And so I was really able at that time to play that particular part. So you can break down your life in that way, actually. And if I look back to what was happening in my private life, and who I was at that time in my life, then I really associate it with that part. That's not to say that with some parts I'm completely mentally unstable, but it's that I can identify with and play those parts in a way that is healthy. So it's not, it doesn't affect me too deeply, but I'm able to do it. Definitely the biggest roles that I've played in the last few years have come at the right time. And now I'm in a period where, having done long-running television shows, I've been doing smaller parts in stuff. And I've really enjoyed that as well. And that's come at the right time for me as well, of just like, you know what, I don't want to take on a long-running, crazy 9 to 5. Like, I would rather go in and play this character over here and then this character over here. So I have like 3 things coming out next year, which has never happened in my life, that I've got like a bunch of things coming out, because I've always been on like long-running stuff. But that's a really fun place for me to be. I've also just recently played 2 parts with a British accent, which I haven't done in over 10 years. So that's also fun. And when I was on set doing that, felt really weird. Like, because also when I live in America and I use my American accent a lot because I want to be understood. So then and I don't want to be asked, where are you from, a million times a day. So doing my British accent on an American set was also really, really weird. But a good experience to have had, and it's because I'm so used to playing Americans, and I, if I'm honest, like did not want to come back here and do anything, did not want to play British people. I wanted to get really far away from that. It was actually a really nice opportunity for me to take baby steps back into that, and probably in the next 5 years or so, I will play more British parts, and because in my life, am ready to do that again. It's really, really odd how it works out like that. Sorry, that was the longest answer ever. But thank you, Jack.
Cheers for that. Next up, we've got...
Hello, I'm Preston.
Hi,
Hey,
Preston.
I wanted to ask a hypothetical question. we're in a zombie
That's okay, you can say that.
in a zombie apocalypse, where would you go to first?
Well, I mean, now, where I am in my life, I would want to be with my family, my wife and child. That's the most important thing straight away. But if I was already with them, I think you'd go, well, then you're a bit trapped. I think you'd go to the coast or like try and get on a boat or something. But then at the same time, didn't they do that in another TV show where everyone was on a... Oh, that was good. Didn't they do that on another TV show where everyone was on a boat and that didn't end very well? So I don't know. Maybe a lighthouse. There's only like one way up and one way down. And a big light at the top to say, hello, we're here. Somewhere that's easily defensible, like a lighthouse. But then you have to get everything up there. Oh, I don't know. It's hard.
Amazon, you get stuff delivered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure Amazon will survive a zombie apocalypse. They probably would. With the drones.
Yeah, it's fine.
Very clever, yeah.
We're planning this out, Preston. Where would you go?
Like a TV show, I'd probably go prison.
All right.
Prison, that's good.
Easily defensible, cool.
Easily defensible.
Thanks for your question, Preston.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
My question is, so on that TV show where people aren't particularly alive,
Love that, yes.
who was your favourite co-star to work with?
I don't know exactly how deep I can go into this. Who was it? To work with. Oh, probably another character who was very good at martial arts. That was good. Because I enjoyed the amount of work that we had both put into what we did, and we had an opportunity to show that off with each other, and that was really fun. But then, from jobs that I've done, and doing things like this, I've actually made really close friends with people who I never shared any scenes with, which has also been really, really fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Jessica.
That aren't particularly alive. I like that.
Hi, I'm Erin.
Hi, Erin.
Hi, Erin.
My question is, I'm a recently fully qualified special effects artist.
Great.
I've trained to work in film
Congrats.
and TV. But my question is, do you have any advice for someone who's trying to get into the industry?
So I'm not sure you'll know, like who the top people are in the biz in England. But I mean, it's always going to be, I mean, you can do your work on the side and nowadays, I tell this to actors as well, like you can just put anything on YouTube now. So make your own low budget stuff and just start putting your work out there. In your industry, people know each other and people are always, because it's an industry where people are impressed, they want to see if there's new techniques or if someone's done a particularly good work. People have great admiration for that and are really, it's a tight community of very cool people, actually. Yeah. So I would always try and apprentice with someone and get on someone's team, so you would know who that is here. There's a few, obviously, big names in America who do that. Because on certain TV shows, there is a whole other department for doing that, and they always need help, So I would keep an eye on what projects are coming to England and find out who's chiefing those projects and start writing letters or trying to get into contact and just start apprenticing with other people. Because you have the skills to do the work, but there's all this other stuff involved, like stupid stuff like you have to turn up at 4:30 in the morning, or like all of these logistical things that you should probably just get used to doing and not have a lot of pressure on you as like the main person. You just be part of a team and know what it is, to make 100 different scars or 100 different, all that kind of stuff. I would find out what projects are coming to England, of which there are quite a few nowadays, and they're building new studios all the time. And that's what I would do. And just get a few projects under your belt, and then you'll be away, because that industry is a very lovely one, actually, and they will always use you again.
Great.
Cool.
One more thing, can you say hi to my mum? She's a big fan. Julie.
Where's your mum?
She's up the back there.
Hi, Mum. You're a big fan. Love you.
What's the name? What's the name?
Julie.
Julie!
There we go.
Thank you.
Personalised and everything. Thanks for your question.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I'm Cadence.
Hi, Cadence. We've met.
Yeah. I was wondering, what is your hair routine?
Wait, didn't you ask me that earlier on?
No.
Someone else asked me.
Because you've got lovely hair.
My whole time I've had long hair, and much longer than this I had it, I would get asked about that all the time. And it's kind of bemusing to me because I basically just washed it with whatever was required, whatever I had at the time. But I think mainly it's because I haven't spent my life messing around with my hair. And when it grows out, it grows out, and I've not been like curling it or like dyeing it too much or doing anything crazy to it. So it's generally decent, in decent condition. And then I chop it off again and grow out again. And so it doesn't sit for a long time. I don't know. Honestly, if I ever I never use conditioner. If I use conditioner, then it gets really oily and greasy and I hate it. So yeah, I wash it every couple of days. 2 or 3 days, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. I'm the same.
Yeah.
You've
got it dialed in.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hiya, it's Becca. So I was wondering if you had to choose a weapon that isn't of standard weapon choice, so just a completely unconventional weapon, what would it be?
Oh, that wouldn't ordinarily be thought of as a weapon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say a mace.
Yeah,
that's
can't
fun.
be an actual
Can't
weapon.
be an actual weapon. I don't know. Maybe that's not a weapon. Like a flag on a pole. Because it could be like a cool flag. But otherwise, it's just anything that's in the room at the time, isn't it? So it could be a speaker. Or, that's what, like, Jackie Chan was always, like, doing stuff with stuff, around him in the room. Like a fridge door or something. Maybe I just have a fridge door. Or a shelf from a fridge. Well, you need something that you can keep reusing. Otherwise, it's just random stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, whatever your environment has in it.
Mic stand or a mic? Or...
Yeah.
What would you use?
Stick blender.
A what blender?
A stick blender.
A stick blender.
For your soups.
It's got to be a rechargeable one though. You can't have it plugged in the wall.
No, I'm not saying you have to actually use it as a blender. Just go around whacking on.
There we go. Violent afternoon.
Perfect. I want to see where you keep your stick blender in your kitchen.
Well, I've got two. One's for an actual non-conventional weapon and one's for cooking.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
Thanks for your question. Next up, we've got Sam.
Hey, Sam.
So want to pull it up to you? Yeah, there you go.
Do you think your death in The Walking Dead was justified?
In that program? In that?
Yeah.
It's all right. I can talk around it. I think for some things that you do, there's source material, and you think things are going to pan out like they do in the source material. And when it doesn't, that can be quite frustrating. However, they can come up with new and exciting ways to make a riff on a different situation. And I have been very happy in the past how things have gone down. And some jobs, like, you work on for a certain amount of time and then you've reached the end. You're just like, this is the end of this for me and I don't need to do this anymore. And sometimes the bosses agree with you and that's it, you're done. So I have been satisfied in the past. That's not too bad. Thank you.
Is it weird seeing yourself die on screen?
Yeah, I've had it a few times now. It's weirder for my wife, actually. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like seeing me in pain or me dying on screen. And I think it'll be weirder for my children, actually. And I don't know. We'll see.
It's good that she's not celebrating when she sees you.
No, she's not.
Yes!
No, she's not. She's definitely not.
Do you want to pull that down again and get another question in? What's your name and what's your question?
So my name is Miriam.
Hi, Miriam.
Hi. I was wondering, has there been a scene that you've shot for any project that you've done in the past which didn't make it into the final cut, but you really loved, you wished was in the final thing?
Yeah. I was on a show once where I got to ride a motorbike, but it didn't end up in the final episode. Because not everyone gets to ride a motorbike. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, and that's definitely happened. I mean, things get cut for reasons of time and storytelling and all that kind of stuff, and you shoot things on the day, and then it doesn't end up in there. But yeah, that has happened to me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. If anyone else wants a question, we've got about another 5 to 10 minutes at a push. If you want to ask a question, I'm going to ask you. I'm trying to dance around this.
Go on.
So let's say there is people you've worked with. Let's say Landrew Inkland, right?
Yeah.
Don't know if you've heard of that actor.
Yeah.
But is there like a group of you, because you're British, do you tend to group together and sort of hang out? Or?
So I can say that because, So Andrew Lincoln, we're from the same city in England, and we did the same drama group outside of school. Like, he's a few years older than me, but at the Millennium, that drama group had a benefit concert, and Andy hosted it, which was really cool. And so I did that with him. And then years later, I think I can talk about this show, we did Wuthering Heights together for ITV. We can talk about that because we're not striking against them. And then I happened to bump into him later on in life, and he had an American accent. And I then thought, well, I should have an American accent too. So then we have this discussion about where we come from in England and about his kids and everything, and we're both talking in American accents. It's the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. It was really, really odd. But if he's playing an American, then he likes to stay in his accent, which is great, fair enough, and that's why I then used mine. But it is very odd when you're talking about, like, oh, I come from Bath, and, like, I went to this school, and we did this, and it's very, very odd. But there's, like I was saying earlier on, it's really fun to see people's career progressions as well. So, like, Andy was Mr. Love Actually, for, like, the guy with the sign from Mr. Love Actually for a long time. And then suddenly he's in America on a TV show there. So, and successful show. So it's really fun to see how people go. And so I obviously met him for the first time in like the year 2000, and then here we are in 2023. I don't know how that happened, but yeah.
Is it the same with your family as well? In front of your wife, do you sometimes forget which accent you're in, or?
Well, my wife is Swedish, but she speaks with an American accent, and she doesn't really have a Swedish accent anymore because she's lived in LA for like since she was 19. So, yeah, I have kind of like a hybrid accent when I'm in America. So we kind of slip in and out, and I mean, God help our son, like, I don't really want him to have an American accent, but I guess he's born there, and that's what might end up happening. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I just have to embrace it. We're very much not American though as well. Like, we like a lot of things about America, but we enjoy being Europeans in America, definitely.
Oh, another question. There we go.
Hi, my name's Gemma.
Hi, Gemma.
I was just wondering, what is it like with people wearing prosthetics and, just like being on set with them? Do they act normal after the scene is over?
Right. So, that's very weird. Because sometimes you will have been working with someone and you don't know, and they'll come up to you later on and be like, oh yeah, we worked together last week, and you have no idea because they were just covered in prosthetics. It's very weird. And also, I could never do that. I just don't think if you have to wear like full-on prosthetics and you're out in the midday sun, that's a whole other skill, and I just couldn't do it. It's enough for me to wear a lot of clothes and look like this. That's enough. I couldn't wear like full prosthetics. No way. But yes, absolutely. You can't. Sometimes you might have been sat next to someone and then not recognize them because they look completely different.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. Hi.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I think you can hear me. I've lost my voice.
A little bit.
I flew in from LA on Friday.
Oh,
actually,
I flew in on Thursday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm very jet lagged.
I'm so jet lagged as well. I didn't sleep last night.
Yep.
But my question is, because you're so good at accents, like you're just talking about that.
Uh-huh.
And obviously I'm a Surrey girl. I'm an actress as well, but I find it so hard
Oh,
to
okay.
do the American accents. How do you adapt so easily?
Well, I live there, so it's easier for me to practice and use it in my everyday life. A lot of accents is about warming up and how elastic you are with your mouth and your tongue and all, like the muscularity of your mouth, basically. So sometimes if I'm really tired or like whatever, then I'll find myself tripping over words and stuff, and I have to practice them. So there are words. Murder is quite hard in American. Murder is quite hard.
It's like mirror.
Mirror is really hard. Or mirroring, if you had to say something like that, because they don't say mirror, it's mirror. So it's like not even a full word. And so sometimes you find like you go through your words and stuff and you keep tripping over a word, and honestly, you just have to say it 1,000,000 times and get your mouth used to saying it the way that they say it, because it's really physical. It's you will find that it's hard because it's a physical thing that your mouth isn't used to doing. So it's really just repetition and practice and teaching the muscles in your mouth to do it. That's really it.
Well, sorry, I never said my name's Natalie,
Hi,
but in
Natalie.
America, hi, I have to say Natalie.
Natalie, yeah. And you have to say water.
All the time.
Yeah, that's why I use my American accent in America, because I don't want to repeat myself the whole time. And I always, like, water is a foreign word in America. They do not know what water is. So you have to say water.
So true.
It's wild. And even if you go, water, no. Like, so I'm fed up with it. So I just,
It's like I said, where's the car park? And they were like...
Oh, yeah, but that's like phrasing, like, where's the parking lot? You can't say car park. No. And then you have to say, so as soon as I come back here, so I have a young son, and we say diaper in America, like all the time. My brother was like right on me about it. He's like, what did you say? And I'm like, listen, I live in a country where no one knows what a nappy is. Like, I cannot say nappy. Like, no one will understand me at all. I think that's probably the most I've ever said nappy. Like, because he was born there, we brought him up there, nobody understands that word there. So those kinds of things, like trunk and boot and hood and bonnet. But you just end up changing, and you have to. So that's why also I use my accent as well, because doesn't feel right to say trunk and hood in a British accent. It's kind of a weird thing.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, do you notice the T-shirt?
Yes. Have you been to the new Amoeba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just recently.
Did you go to the old one?
I love the old one better.
Yeah. I know, bummer. Cool. Representing.
Cheers, Natalie. One last one. We'll get one last one in.
Hi, my name is Lewis, and I'm a big Walking Dead fan.
Okay.
You might tell. So you play Jesus, but what is one character you think you would do a really good job of playing if you did not play Jesus?
That I would do a really good job of? I think any character that I play generally has a lot of heart. So any of the other characters that had a lot of heart and empathy on the show.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is near enough it. We're going to get... are we all right doing a selfie?
Sure.
I think we navigated that quite
Sure,
well.
sure. Yeah. I think we got through it.
We got through it, and nobody's going to get in trouble.
No.
And you've not broken the picket line or anything like that.
Well, hopefully, it's all coming to an end in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, and we can all get back to work. But it's mainly... it's a labor dispute over minimum pay, basically. Yeah. In America, you need to for our union, you need to earn a certain amount of money in order to get health insurance. Yeah. And you need health insurance, otherwise you're in trouble, because they don't have socialized healthcare like we do here. God bless the NHS. And so the reality of the acting union is that the wages have gone down, and 80-something% of the union don't earn enough money to get their health insurance. So it's about bringing up minimum wages. And then there is this AI part of it as well, and lots of other little things. But what it's really shown me is the power of the union. They're really strong over there. And I had been in a situation in this country where I was on a job and things were not great and it was going awry. And I was starting to talk about it, and my agent called me and said, you stop talking about it because they'll get rid of you. That can't happen in America. but it could happen here at that time because the union wasn't strong enough. So I'm really, and it's worked. In America, the writers just managed to settle, and they got a really good deal, and they got a lot of what they asked for, which they wouldn't have gotten if they didn't go on strike. And hopefully the same will happen with the actors. So as much as it's been terrible and lots of people have been out of work, it wasn't for no reason, and hopefully we all come out of it looking better.
And hopefully we can get to see you back on
and
screen
we will,
again.
yeah, and hopefully, hopefully now there'll be a flood of work, and we'll all be working until the end of time. But
is there anything you can talk about that you're doing in the future, or is that?
No, I can't. I've got some movies coming out next year, but I can't talk about any of it, unfortunately.
Rough dates so that they can put it.
I've got one coming out in February, which hasn't been announced yet, so you can't even look up that I'm in it. So that's good. So one in February and one next summer.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So please, Comic Con Scotland, give a big thank you and a round of applause to
Thank
Tom.
you, guys.
We're going to get you all standing up, and if you want to, we're going to.